Hey everybody, Dave here, and today I want to talk about some of my favorite new accessories for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and those are the complete character chronicles from Beetle and Grimm's. Now, if you're not familiar with Beetle and Grimm's, they are a company that produces really high-end, high-quality accessories for tabletop gaming, and I believe this is their first venture into the world of Pathfinder. Now, I should let you know, as a quick disclaimer at the beginning of this, that I did reach out to Beetle & Grimm's, and they were kind enough to provide me with images that I could use throughout this video to showcase the insides of their books. But I also want to let you know that there are 5 books in this set, and I have purchased all 5 of them myself. I took part in a Kickstarter last year to help fund the creation of these books, and I'm not going to bury the lead here. I'm glad I did, because I really genuinely like all of these books. So what is the problem that Beetle & Grimm's is trying to correct with the publication of these complete character chronicles? And I should mention that there are separate character chronicles for 5 different classes right now. They've produced these for Fighter, Cleric, Druid, Rogue, and Wizard, and if these do well enough, hopefully they will produce more in the future for Sorcerers, Monks, Druid, Champions, and every other class that we want and need. So the issue that they're trying to correct with these books is the dilemma of too many books and not enough table space. So instead of a player having to have their core rulebook open to one page, their advanced player's guide open to another, their character sheet in front of them, and they're also got a separate notebook that they're jotting down all of their notes on, instead they've combined all of those into these complete character chronicles. So inside of this one book is going to be a super comprehensive character sheet, most of the information from the core rulebook that a player needs, not all, and the information pertaining to each book's class from the Advanced Player's Guide, as well as a very thorough journal area as well. So this is your core rulebook, it is your Advanced Player's Guide, it is your character sheet, it is your character journal, and they also have a few other special little surprises hidden in some of these books as well, just to further enhance their value. So let's go ahead and take a look between the covers of these books and show you exactly what you're going to find there. Speaking of covers, the outsides of these books are just as beautiful as their insides. Each cover is embossed with a design depicting that book's class and made from vegan leather, so you don't need to worry no actual dragons are harmed in the making of these books. Each of the complete character chronicles follows a similar format but tailored to each class's needs. The inside of each cover depicts one possible example of a future stronghold suited for a veteran of that class. A keep for fighters, a tower for wizards, hidden thieves' den for rogues, temple for clerics, and first world treehouse for druids. I really appreciate having these images as the first thing you see when you open one of the chronicles, because they sort of strike me as aspirational goals. I may be rolling a new character and setting out for my adventure at first level now, but someday I'll command my own fortress like the one here. After that, you're greeted with a birth certificate for your character to help you start thinking about that new character's background. Where are they from and what were the circumstances of their birth? Each class has their own birth certificate tailored to lean into their particular story. The Druid birth certificate asks if you were raised by wolves or if flowers bloomed at your birth, while the Cleric birth certificate asks if the child shows any birthmarks that might be a sign of prophecy. Each book then continues with the centerpiece of the Chronicles, which is the world's most detailed and comprehensive character sheet. About 30 pages are dedicated to recording everything about your character. All of the standard information you might expect is on the very first page, and beyond that you'll find space for equipment, spells, and other typical items. But where these character sheets really shine is how they're customized for each class. Each character sheet has a class feature section that lays out first level to 20th with every special feature already listed for you at the level you receive it, and space provided for you to record every feat you select along the way. Additional space is provided for class-specific customizations, such as selecting a wizard's arcane thesis and everything else that comes along with it. Spellcasters have enough room to record all of their spells, as well as pages dedicated to those creatures they always seem to summon. Space is also provided to record all of the details of the feats that the character selects, so you don't have to keep juggling different books in the middle of your game. It's all recorded right here. Each sheet also has enough room to record 4 archetypes, as well as special sheets tailored for the character's animal companion or familiar, or both in the case of druids. All of that would probably be more than enough for most character sheets, but the complete character chronicles go even further by adding space to record your followers, important events, important people, important places, and a quest log. Also, all of the Pathfinder Society players out there will be happy to know these character sheets include 4 pages dedicated to your standing in the Society, your boons, your keepsakes, and a Pathfinder Society log. The character sheets are also printed on super heavy duty paper to stand up to years of writing and erasing, and I know some of you might hear that and think, but Dave, I have a really abusive GM and I take a lot of damage in every session, so I'm having to write and erase my hit points 20 times a day. And no way can even the best paper hold up to that over an entire campaign. Well, Beetle and Grimm have you covered there too, because if we flip to the back cover, we'll find a special pocket that holds what they call the battle board. These are super durable dry erase boards customized to each class's needs and used to record all of the information that changes throughout a session, so you only need to record on paper one time at the end of the night instead of constantly throughout the session. And the back of these battle boards also include a summary of frequently looked up items like conditions, skill actions, and hero points. The second chapter of each complete character chronicle is dedicated to the class. Here they provide all of the class information from the core rules and advanced player's guide. All of the class's feats from both of those books are combined into one easy to read and review section. And the same is true for the spellcasting classes and their spells, cantrips, focus spells, and rituals. All of the spells of that class's primary tradition from both the core rules and the advanced player's guide are compiled here. So the complete Cleric Chronicle has all of the divine spells, with none of the exclusively arcane, occult, or primal spells taking up space or getting in their way. The Chronicles for spellcasting classes also reprint all of the rules for spellcasting, along with revised area of effect charts tailored to that class's theme. Each Chronicle also provides a selection of skills tailored to that book's class. They don't reprint every skill though. For example, the Complete Fighter Chronicle doesn't dedicate space to the Thievery skill. But since we know in Pathfinder it's definitely possible for any character to gain any skill, they do provide a handy chart to direct you to where you can find more information about each skill in the core rulebook. Also tailored to each class's needs is a selection of about 10 archetypes, completely reprinted with all of their feats. Again, this section is focused on the specific class of that book. So wizards won't find Cavalier included in their books, and fighters won't find Lore Master included in theirs. The Complete Character Chronicles also provide a selection of class-relevant rules. The spellcasting classes give you everything you need to know about spell attacks and saves, while the Fighter and Rogue Chronicles go further by providing the full rules for the action economy, all 3 modes of play, encounter, exploration, and downtime, the earn income activity, combat rules, death mechanics, triggering reactions, cover rules, movement rules, flanking, and more. The Martial class books also include a section on equipment, and this is probably the biggest difference between the spellcasting and martial books. Whereas the Cleric, Druid, and Wizard Chronicles have a ton of space dedicated to all of their spells, the Fighter and Rogue books each have expansive chapters dedicated to equipment, weapons, and armor. More than simply reprinting a table of weapons, Beetle and Grimm gives us full write-ups with illustrations and some extra in-universe flair as well. For example, armor in the Complete Fighter Chronicle is presented as a catalog from Seared, Roasted & Company weapon supplies, and the poisons in the Complete Rogue Chronicle are presented with a sidebar of corresponding, we'll say, beverages. that you might order at the Giant's Bane Tavern to secretly purchase these questionably legal medicines? The final chapter of the book is blank and left to you to chronicle your adventures in. This nearly 60-page journal has plenty of space to serve as your personal diary and includes a few special prompts such as top battles to record or my best backstabs in the Rogue's Journal. And I should mention that each complete character chronicle is made with special lay flat binding that makes it easy to write in and use up the entire width of each page in the journal. The journals also include grid pages for sketching maps and even have a special gatefold area to draw your own personal stronghold. And of course, Beetle and Grimm properly bookend their complete character chronicles. Each of these books start with a class-specific birth certificate and each close with a death certificate. Hopefully you won't need that one too soon. So there you go, that's a quick look at what you'll find in the complete character chronicles. As usual, I think it's good to take a moment to look at both the pros and cons of these books. In the pros column, I say these books make efficient use of table space by combining your character sheet, your journal, your core rules, and advanced player's guide all into one. Everything you need for your class is presented here without any unnecessary clutter caused by also including things from all the other classes that aren't really relevant to your needs. And of course, no single book is ever going to meet the needs of every single player in a game as flexible as Pathfinder, so no, we cannot literally say that this is the only book you'll ever need, but I really believe this is about 90% of what 95% of the players will want at their table. And Beetle and Grimm's put a lot of thought and care into the way they designed these books, and I think the inclusion of the battle board is brilliant. It's going to make it easy to record all the information that might change throughout a game, and on the back of it with all of the easy summaries for conditions and death mechanics and what you get when you spend a hero point. Those are the items that players often have to go digging for in the middle of gameplay, so to have them right on the back of the board is fantastic. I think a lot of other publishers would have just reprinted the content from the other books, put everything into condensed tables, made it about 50 pages and called it a day, but Beetle and Grimm's went the extra mile by curating the content, reorganizing some of the elements so you read them when it makes most sense within the context of your class, and they added some really helpful new bits as well. My favorite of these new bits is a section in the Druid Chronicle that has tables for all of their shape-shifting forms along with their stats and how each form changes as the spell is heightened. And I think these books are going to make fantastic gifts. If you have a friend, a spouse, a loved one who you want to introduce to Pathfinder but they're turned off by all the books, then just get them one of these. Introduce them to the game through a character chronicle and just say, hey, everything you need is going to be here. You don't have to worry about having to juggle all the books that some other veteran players at the table might. Everything you need is right here. So those are my pros for the complete character chronicles, but we know nothing is ever perfect, so let's talk a little bit about where the book perhaps maybe falls a little bit short. So I mentioned before that the Complete Character Chronicle is not the one-size-fits-all only book that any player will ever need, so let's talk about some of the things that aren't included inside the Complete Character Chronicles. The Complete Character Chronicles do not provide any information for how to roll up a new character or information about ability scores and what they represent. You're still going to need a core rulebook or the rules available online when you actually first roll up your character. Also, none of these books provide any information about ancestries or ancestry feats, which makes sense. If they also included every single possible ancestry from both the core rules and the Advanced Player's Guide and all of their ancestry feats in every one of these books, it would double the size of the books. Nor do they provide any information about backgrounds. So you're still going to need access to the core rules or the Advanced Player's Guide or wherever you're selecting your ancestry from. And also, whenever you select new ancestry feats, you'll need access to those books or online as well. And some players out there may need access to abilities that are not included in their class's book. For example, a Cleric of Nethys can cast Magic Missile. but since Magic Missile is an arcane spell, it's not included within the complete Cleric Chronicle that is dedicated only to divine spells. These character chronicles are also not designed for some variant rules like dual class characters, and multi-class archetypes might be difficult to manage as all of that other class's feats and abilities and spells are going to be in another book that they'll have to go look for. And it's a little disappointing that the Chronicles for spellcasting classes do not provide the comprehensive rules found in the Fighter and Rogue Chronicles. I know they want to keep the page count the same so that each book has the same price point, but I wish the Spellcasting Chronicles also included the rules for downtime and exploration modes, basic actions, cover movement, and the other rules that are found in the 2 Martial class books, as spellcasting players do need to understand those rules as well. But easily the biggest thing missing from these complete character chronicles is an index. There is no index, there's no table of contents. There are color tabs along the right of the book that you can use to get you into the right section, but there's no way to quickly reference an item to a page number to quickly find what you're looking for within the book itself. Now they do offer you a blank page at the end of every book for you to create your own personalized index, but it's still a little bit confusing to me why books of this quality with this much attention given to them don't just automatically have a proper index or even table of contents included in them. And I should say that each of these books also include 2 cloth bookmarks that you can use to note those sections that you go to frequently, but again, a proper index is really needed for a book like this. Also, obviously, these books are not going to be needed by people who are completely committed to using online tools, but I will say that if you are one of those people who are online only, you like your digital tools, but you still like the character sheet and other information in these chronicles, they do offer form-fillable PDF versions of all of these books as well. So those are the complete character chronicles from Beetle and Grimm's. You can order them directly from their website. I will make sure that I leave a link to all these items in my description. The physical hardback book version of each of these character chronicles is $40, and digital form-fillable PDF versions are available for $25. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about these books, and also if you are an owner of one of these books already, feel free to share your own thoughts about them in the comments as well. And as always, I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to everybody out there who supports me, whether that's through clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to the Patreon, leaving your comments, sharing the videos with your friends. I really appreciate everything you folks do to support me. And with that, thanks for watching, take care, and happy gaming.